And it's a very important appointment because it's ultimately going to leverage your time.
So the big question is, what are the top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams, and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? If you ever thought about this, you're not alone. No one has been able to get the answers until now.
We spent the last few years helping agents sell billions in real estate, rubbing shoulders with top producers, which got us thinking, how can we expose more people to these insights to help raise the standard in the whole real estate industry? We then realized that we could help bridge the gap by getting the secrets from the best of the best so that you can succeed. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
New agents listening, what's the next step? How do they get started? What do they do?
Well, they need to make a plan, but ultimately, I can give you, 4 or 5 videos that pretty much work in any market. And that is pros and cons of your city. It's cost of living. It's top 5 neighborhoods, top 5 suburbs. You could also do veterans benefits. You could do, just those videos in itself really are the framework that will fit pretty much in any market. And you can kind of branch off from that. And what happens is that as you create more content, you start to develop the relationship with your audience as well. So you start to understand them and you start to see which videos resonate and which don't. So then you can move into suburbs. Now, ultimately, that's a big draw for us is suburb-based videos. And that's what people want to know. That's what they're looking for. And so, but some suburbs do better than others. I ask this all the time. Give me your top 5 suburbs that you would make videos on. And people will always give me their top 5. And then we'll research and look at the search volume. And almost every single time, their top 1, 2, or 3 are not even the most searched suburbs. So also, if you want to get found sooner rather than later, we base a lot around search because if you go where the eyeballs are already at, it's a lot easier to be found.
Right.
And so, that's the other thing about branding, your channel to your city versus yourself is that I knew going into it and based on my research, I didn't have a brand. Nobody knew who Levi Lassick was. Nobody is searching Levi Lassick on YouTube either. So why would I ever name my channel Levi Lassick's Real Estate Channel or Levi Lassick Realtor or anything like that? Nobody's searching that. Nobody's going to find it. But they are searching for Dallas, Texas. And so follow the path of least resistance. And again, this is something that I looked at because, again, and my formula for success is look at who's at the top, what are they doing, and how did they get there? Well, when I researched all the real estate channels I could find, good and bad, most of the bad ones were named after agents and they were open houses and they were, $300,000 listing videos and they were market reports, and then I came across there's one agent, Katie Day down in Houston. She had a pros and cons video and I found it and it's like 50,000 views. And that's when a light bulb went off. And I was like, oh, this is what people are looking for. And what's interesting is that she tends to focus a little bit more on Instagram. I know they still have presence on YouTube, but still, it was just something that opened my eyes up to, okay, this is what people really want to know. And it was also in YouTube Secrets, Benji talks about that. He actually had a real estate channel in 2009. So was his start on YouTube. And what happened for him was that landed him that YouTube channel, which he said was absolute crap. And, he made the crappiest videos on there. But it landed him the HUD account for the Pacific Northwest. And he said he was a struggling real estate agent about to quit doing 8 to 10 deals a year. Then he did the next year over 100 deals because, HUD found him on YouTube and thought, oh, this could be a good guy to market our properties. And all he was doing on YouTube was, talking about, answering questions that people were already searching for on YouTube. And so that little paragraph, and that's really a very small paragraph in YouTube Secrets, that also triggered my thought process. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's something that could be working. And now it's funny because now Benji, he quit doing that, of course. And he's an extremely successful YouTuber, but now that he sees with what we're doing, he's like, damn, should I get back into real estate? And so, it's funny, but so, it's just you have to look for what's working.
What tools are you using to find keywords that people are searching for? So someone's like, I want to I don't know, whatever my top area is, but I want to know if people are searching. What tool do you use to give you that information?
I use TubeBuddy. Yeah, I use TubeBuddy. Yep.
There you go. So everyone listening, head up to TubeBuddy, have a look at your suburbs, see what's going on there, and it'll give you a good idea of search volume. You go top 5 videos. When we talk about consistency, then what kind of video volume are you doing? 1 a week, 2 a week, 1 a day? How does that look for volume? What can people expect? And I think a big question that everyone's listening, which is one of the reasons that we service a lot of people through Facebook, is camera shyness and all that stuff, which I think is going to be good to cover. How you maybe cope with that, deal with that, how people can overcome it. So 2-part of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what I do. You have to do what you will do. And so, but I wouldn't recommend less than a video per week. But the more content you produce, the faster you're going to grow. Just the same with your podcast. That's why I asked you, well, how many episodes? If you're publishing a video or a podcast per day, there's no question why. Now, I'm sure I know your content is amazing, but volume, of course, helps, right? The more volume you put out, the more eyeballs are going to find. I mean, and then also you're constantly feeding the algorithm on top of that, and you're creating engagement regardless. So, you have to choose a publishing schedule that's going to work for you. And so I would recommend no less than 1 video a week. If you can do 3 per week, now you're going to grow a lot quicker. 2 per week is some middle ground. Now, here's the thing is that 2 videos per week is only 8 videos per month. So how are you going to shoot that? Are you going to shoot 2 videos every single week? Well, if you do that, again, you should be scheduled out well in advance, because if you're living week by week to shoot content, anything can come up and derail that. So be prepared. Now, you could also shoot 4 videos every other week, or you could shoot 8 videos in one day, and you could block 1 day per month, shoot all 8 videos and be done with it for that whole month. So you have to figure out what's going to work best for you. And here's the thing. I mean, this is what blows me away when people tell me they don't have time to make videos. And I'm like going, well, what else are you doing to lead generate? Well, I'm calling 2 hours every single day. And I'm like, going back to your thing, Andrew, you're like, that's the deal. I can go on vacation. I can go on conferences. I can leave the country for a month. My videos are still prospecting for us 24/7. So my lead generation is not tied to my direct efforts, which means I own a business. I don't have a job. If your lead generation is directly tied to your efforts, you have a job, period. So you're self-employed. You're on the left side of the quadrant. You're not advancing to where you need to be. You're not leveraging yourself. Now, hey, if that's what you want to do and that's your MO, then go for it. But if you ever want to scale and leverage your ability and get your spouse off your back, because, the thing is most agents, that's why their relationships struggle, because they go on vacation and guess what? The agent's not present. Why? Because they're not lead generating. And when they're not lead generating, what are they thinking about? They're thinking about getting behind. And then they're also wondering about what's happening where they have a deal that's, they don't have somebody to handle the deals they're working on. And so, what happens, the spouse is like, you got to be present. You got to be present. Well, and all they're thinking about is I'm so behind. And then you come back and you're like, well, I didn't lead generate for a week. And so guess what you're doing? Now you're trying to double time and now you're working extra hours. And guess what? Now that turns into a problem. And so we don't worry about that stuff. It's like, it's constantly working for us, but you have to set that all in motion and you have to find a publishing schedule and you have to make time for it. If you block time to make videos, that's an appointment, Trust me, if somebody wants to work with you or you have an appointment or something like that, they will schedule around it. If you say, hey, look, I'm booked at that time, you don't have to say, well, I blocked that time for making videos. You don't have to tell a client that. You just tell them, I've got appointments at that time. I can't do today. I can do tomorrow. They don't know you're shooting videos. So that's how you should treat it. It's an appointment, and it's a very important appointment because it's ultimately going to leverage your time. So I forgot the second part of your question.
It was with video, being shy on video. A lot of people, because that's one of the key advantages of Facebook, right? The way we market, you don't have to be seen. There's no videos from you. There's no pictures. Like, we sell the homes and we leverage, the home photography, which is, I think, one of the biggest differences between the two types of marketing. Is like, one you can do and you don't have to be front of house. And the other is very much, you have to be, on camera, confident, put yourself out there. And A lot of people are very critical of themselves. If anything, most people, you're more critical of you than other people are of you. Mm-hmm. And it's the...
Like, I hate my voice on every single recording. I hate it. I can't listen to it.
You know why that is?
Because the pitch, when we sound different to ourselves, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just something you have to accept. I mean, that how you sound on video and audio is how you sound to everybody else in the world. So, I mean, that's how you sound.
I feel bad for everybody listening. You got to listen to my voice.
Well, it could be better. I mean, it could be better. I don't know. We're not in your head, so I don't know. You may be still going through puberty in your head. Who knows? But
yeah, that's very true. To go back to the schedule, how do you feel about starting with 3 videos and going back to 2? Is that something that you should not do? Should you start with 2?
I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem at all. I mean, as long as you stay consistent and you have something going out weekly, you can do 1 video a week, 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, but that inconsistency too, is going to be inconsistent growth. So if you really want to come out of the gates and you want to hit it hard, 3 videos a week is going to get you there faster, but if you scale back to 2, then probably not going to be a big deal. Or if you can only put out 1 per week, I think content is content. As long as it's going out, that's the most important thing. But also don't run so hard you burn yourself out and you just, hit a brick wall. But, kind of going back to the camera shyness, it's anything we do is always awkward in the beginning. And everybody on this podcast, I'm assuming, has a real estate license, which is why they listen to it. And what happened when you got all of your materials for your real estate license? You were like, holy shit, this is a lot. These are thick books. And what is all this stuff? And am I really going to do that? I mean, it's just like algebra, right? Who has used algebra in their lifetime after high school or college? But yet you sit there and you start algebra class and you're like, holy cow, this is a lot. How am I ever going to figure this out? And the next thing you know, you're graduating, right? You're completing the semester. You're done. You have your real estate license. Then you got your real estate license, and then you go to write your first contract, and it's 25 pages long, and you have to attach 10 different addendums to it because of laws and regulation and all this other crap. And what are you doing? You're going, oh my goodness, this is a lot. This is how am I ever going to get through this? And guess what? Now you probably write a contract like second nature. So you have to work through the awkwardness of everything you do. I mean, riding a bike as a kid, it was awkward. You couldn't do it. And then once you did it, it was done and you do it. And so now you got to work through the awkwardness of video. If now you don't have to do video, but if you ever want to leverage yourself and leverage your business, and and if you're not on video, it's going to be extremely difficult to stand out in your market going forward. 84%, the new stat is now 84% in 2022 of consumers will make a buying decision based on video. And that's going to be the case with real estate. Why do you think the Altman brothers and Ryan Serhant and their brands are growing as big as they are? It's because they are on video constantly. I just saw the stat, like Altman brothers, this last year, they did 1.3 billion in sales. Well, I think the year before that, I don't even know if they broke $1 billion. But that's how astronomical their sales are growing. Why? Because they're staying consistent. They're incorporating YouTube. Of course, $1 million listing doesn't hurt either. But Altman's been the most consistent agent on that channel as well, or on that show. So all that just grows and grows and grows. But if you want to be, the Incredible Hulk in a puddle, as one of my friends likes to say, that's you and your market. And doing that on video, the faster you do it, the faster you are to market with that. And again, that's just what you have to do.
Do you feel that a market can be too small and you have to expand instead of being hyper local?
It can be too small in your head.
I don't think that'd ever be true.
Well, let me give you an example. We helped a guy start a channel in Northwest Georgia, probably about as rural as you can be. Northwest Georgia. I mean, you're talking about not a lot going on there. Like you drive 30, 40 minutes or an hour in between little towns, right? So he's covering like a couple of little towns, but again, it's not even known as anything. That's why it has to be Northwest Georgia, because it's just encompassing like the northwest part of the state. But Same formula as he copied everything we did. We helped him through it. And within 60 days, started getting calls, locked up a deal under contract within 90 days. And now he's already, closed to, and he was a brand new real estate agent, came from nursing, no sales experience, no real estate agent experience at all whatsoever. And it wasn't, the most finessed on camera either, but he also was like, I'm going to do it, because he was like, I don't want to cold call, and I don't want to door knock, and I don't want to sit here and try to, be the country real estate agent, in Northwest Georgia. And people are on YouTube, so
I think one of the things for people listening, if you haven't grasped this, is like and I'll openly admit this, I've run Facebook ads for 7 years. So I'm very much old guard with regards to this. I've been doing it since 2015. The thing about YouTube is there is a true compound effect. The reason, I'm sure, Levi, you haven't said these exact words, but I'm sure you think about this, is the power of YouTube is it's evergreen. It's always there. So someone in a year's time could go and
it's always searchable.
It's always going to be found. So especially if you have home runs, it's certain videos, living in, or this suburb, right, in Dallas, Texas, whatnot. It doesn't matter if it's 3 years old, like it'll still get found, it'll still get views, and you can still get calls. And it didn't cost you anything more, didn't do anything more. One of the things that I think is a crying shame is that people, this is totally achievable. Literally for everyone listening, the reason that we wanted to get you on as soon as humanly possible is because this is year one, you iconed insane results. Like you've said, you've taught a few people already, or a bunch of people, and they're already getting results. Like, this is totally fucking achievable for everybody listening, which is why we're big on social in general. Like, we're very much modern strategies. We don't do any door knocking, cold calling, anything like that. It just doesn't work for us because we don't want it to work. Ultimately, everything works. We've had amazing guests who do it, but everyone listening, this is truly possible, very tangible. You can go out and do this. I mean, Levi, what is your exact channel name if people want to go and check out your stuff and see what you're doing on YouTube?
Well, they should check out The Real Agents, and that's the REEL, like a real. And so The Real Agents, that's where you'll see a lot of information on tips and tidbits and coaching that I do. It's always posted on there. I mean, our channel is, Living in Dallas, Texas. And we have a Living in Dallas, Texas Shorts channel. And we launched, just in the last 60 days, we launched Luxury Living in Dallas, Texas. And because we wanted to step up, and we already acquired a $4.5 million buyer from that channel. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you're listening to this and you aren't making at least $100,000 per year in GCI and you're looking for a predictable system to get you there, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.